because even our parents
got married
you
young.
see, they started very young,
Even
got married
kids.
young, and they grew up together career-wise, but that's now very rare.
Yeah, so it's easier to be more submissive to a man who's providing more. It's easier.
Yeah.
I was busy with my daughter. Like, she was not feeling well. She was needy and all of that. So it's things like that.
Yeah.
So it can affect career as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very selfish. Selfish in a way that
Yes.
everything is I.
Yes.
The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. Strong hosts to break, got long walks to take, got no votes to make, but don't bet, we pray. Hey, African man, yeah. The African male iris, through the eye of an African male.
You know, something in modern society now that is rare, like in my situation, where I was married at 25.
Yeah. Ooh.
And 25, you're still, you know, that
It's a
was,
figuring live.
you know,
like-
that's, speaking in general, not many women now would do what my wife did then.
Yeah.
You know, she
How
married.
old was she?
We were the same, with more or less the
Same
same
age.
age,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So she married more or less potential at that time. You know,
Yes,
I was still in the
Figuring
very
out
early
life.
stages of my
it was
career.
love.
And it was more of love and start off in a small Kanyana flat, the two of us, and you know,
Yes.
we grew. But it's something that's now very rare because the expectations are just now
Very high.
very high. From I think we've had a lot of ladies also on our podcast when we talked around that to say how it's no longer the case now for majority of the young ladies now, the younger generation, to say I'm willing to grow with this guy.
Yeah.
You know,
It's very rare, honestly.
And we are leavers. With this generation, we are leavers. Like one red flag, I'm gone.
I'm
Like,
out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay, not me, but
In general.
The way no one looked at you. Oh my God.
So is it?
You're sitting in the wrong place. Come back.
This is perfect.
Come back here.
I am so happy with this angle.
So is it? Would you say is there a culture change? Is it what? Because even our parents,
Got married
you
young.
see, they started very young,
Even
got married
kids.
young, and they grew up together career-wise, but that's now very rare.
I think it's got to do also with employment, marketing, you know, that more women are also growing faster than men
yeah.
when it comes to
Career as well.
careers.
Yes.
So another thing is, you know, back in the days, most women were not working.
Yes,
It's the man who's always providing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll use my parents as a typical example. My dad is a engineer, a construction person,
Yeah.
and then my mom was a nurse.
Is
So-
that why you took up engineering?
Not even. not even.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was that type of thing where, okay, so obviously he will provide. My mom is working, but obviously not as much as my dad is.
Right.
But now you can meet a guy and I'm probably earning maybe 2 times what
Yeah,
he's earning.
now.
And it also makes it very difficult to settle down with a man like that because it would need a mature man
Yeah.
to be able to handle that and a
Yes.
mature woman to know that
He's still the head.
he's still the head. My salary does not define, you know, what's happening in the household. I've got a single friend who's very wise. Her name is Noktula. She also said to me, another thing that's very hard, that causes also the divorce rates a lot, is the fact that we are now helping each other in the households.
Yeah.
So I also have power, I have weight. So you can't want to be the head of the family and be the one always bulldozing, making decisions. But when it's time to pay the bills, you're asking for my share, saying, don't forget to give me the one.
So this, so that.
50%. Oh, please give me this. Yeah, so it's easier to be more submissive to a man who's providing more. It's easier.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you say that because for generally women have been fighting for that equality.
For a
I,
very
no, I was
now
not there. I
that-
was not going to fight for that. I want to stay at
Now
home.
that
for,
it's
for a very long
Now
time.
that they have it, they're like,
yeah, now they have it. They will still want the guy to do better, and it's now the pressure is on the guys because you even on the job market, the preference is to women because of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I
So
think,
it
it's funny. It's funny because, well, I studied sociology.
Yeah,
So what makes sense to me a lot is actually the fact that women are generally just good managers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like, period.
True.
Like, they can manage a thing. A household, a home, whatever it is, they can
Events,
just,
you know.
they can just manage it really well. Like, so if you were to give a company to a guy and then give a company to a woman, they could manage it with more feeling because they're
Yeah.
like, okay, who's the
Emotions
lowest
and
person? How
all
do they
that.
feel about their
Yeah.
job? So, they're nurturers.
Yeah.
The same way you were talking about how your wife will think about the kids. And because you're not always thinking about yourself, so
Yeah.
naturally you start looking at things like,
Yes.
if people walked in here, hey, no, like how our mothers,
Yes.
we always laugh at our mothers and the things they do, but those are the management things that they do, where they're like, hey, no, there's going to be visitors, so
Yes,
please make
please
sure
make
there's
sure
this.
Don't play
Make sure there's
here.
that. Make sure, visitors are coming, please go and buy this and buy,
And
you know what I
clean
mean?
your room. I don't know what
Yes.
are they doing in my room.
And they don't even come to the room. Just in case.
Yeah.
Like,
Just in case.
So that is very interesting, and I think Tino's point is very interesting about the modern day like dating scene.
yeah. And
Because what it does
And
is,
the ancient one,
I remember listening to, there's a friend of mine who does a radio show, and they were discussing this whole like power women
Yeah.
and who are they dating? Because if there are a lot of power women and there were not so many power positions, it means there are very little power men.
Yeah, the percentage
So
of men.
where are they going to get the kind of men that they want? Because
They are
then
dating
every
people's-
woman wants a guy who's better. So if they are way better, now there's less guys who are there. Now there's like 3 guys who qualify for that position, but there's 64 women who want that guy. Now these guys are 3 and they are all married. So what must for the happen?
It's a tough one. But
it's a tough one because I mean, at the end of the day, we are raising young girls, right? And we just want them to be independent, but because it's that thing of be independent, but don't overdo it. All right, but what is overdoing
What
it?
is overdoing it?
Overdoing it
Exactly.
is me not aiming high to be a CEO of one of the biggest countries in SA, or aiming high, or maybe overdoing it. It's me settling for a senior position, and that's aiming high, right? So sometimes as women we overdo it to a point where
Because naturally you're good at it, as you're saying.
yeah.
Then you find
You're going to
I'm,
be a
I'm
good
really
manager.
good at this.
You're going to get the promotion.
And you take it further.
Yes.
You take it further at home, right? And you forget that you are the CEO at work, but then at home you're a mother.
Yeah.
You're a
can
wife.
I add? I'll also tell you also why, another reason. So you'll find, how can I put this? So it's just that she triggered something, so I want to twist it now. Ne?
Okay.
So married women also, like you were saying, prioritizing and also sacrifices, right? Because I'm married, I've got my kids to take care of and my husband, right?
Right.
And then there's a lady who's also in almost the same position as I am,
Right.
but she's growing faster than I am. And the reason
How so?
it's because of availability. I'm not always available. So if, like for example, when my daughter is sick, who are they gonna call? Who's the first person to rush out?
Her.
I'm definitely not gonna be busy with deliverables.
You mean in the
She's-
workplace?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Then now you get these power women on high pedestals who are single. Then you also find it difficult to get a partner because of that.
So they suffer socially. Where you thrive socially, they suffer
suffer.
because
Yes.
they are always making time for the career.
Exactly.
So they go further with the career.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not by choice because I mean, I'll always choose a family. Family
course.
comes first.
Yeah.
Then it also, so it just brings a whole lot of things. One of the reasons why I force going to the gym, even if it means it's just for 30 minutes, is to bring that husa, because sometimes you find I have to, it's my daughter who needs attention, then it's my husband who also needs attention, then it's work, and sometimes I was working late. Like the other time, she says, I texted her at 3, and then she's like, oh, friend, I wonder what's stressing you at that time. And that time, I'm just catching up on deliverables because I was busy with my daughter. Like, she was not feeling well, she was needy, and all of that. So it's things like that.
Yeah.
So it can affect career as well.
Yeah.
In a,
Wow,
I don't want to say in
I've
a,
never actually thought about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
an
So
interesting
those
perspective.
things also. So for example, because they know I'm married and I also have a child, I'm not the first one to be put on the list for a project in DRC, because we do projects in DRC. We do projects in whatever outside the country.
Right,
Because they know, okay, this one is married, this one has a child, which means we first have to ask if she is available.
And which is true,
But-
because I'm going through the same. My kind of work, I travel a lot. Even Monday, I will be in Nelspruit the
For a
whole
week.
week until I'm coming back on Saturday, right? And one of the things that are making me just to, not to have a child as yet, it's because of that, to say, but I'm never available. My work is so demanding in a way that I have to travel and sometimes, I mean, you can just imagine she's away, for example, for the whole week, and they tell her that, oh, your daughter's not doing well. Even though they'll tell you, okay, no, she's better, but I don't think you will have a good
I just
day
want to
the
see
whole day.
myself.
You just want, and it happens so many times with the people that I know. I remember my sister. She was deployed to another province for a very long time, and my nephew was hit by a TV, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but he was okay though. But he was okay. It was not really that extreme. But my sister was like, when she came, she had to go through that, and she cried because we are explaining, because on the phone we are just like, modifying it and trying to
Yeah.
So
that
she
you
doesn't
don't-
stress.
managing
so that
her,
you
yeah.
don't, because once they tell you that, oh no, your daughter's not doing well, now it's affecting work,
yeah. I
and
won't
you're
perform.
making mistakes and all that, and we don't know what, maybe you are on your third warning and all that. So I can actually attest to that.
Wow.
So
So it's also just a different, topic to tap into, but that's also just one of the things. So it's also sacrifices that you in marriage that
Yeah.
you will make. So low key, if we're being honest, I'm sacrificing my career so that my husband can flourish
Sacrificing your career for
Family.
family.
for family.
Yeah.
Yes.
so that he can provide
yes,
for you.
because obviously when he's more of a, and because we're also both in the engineering space, it's quite a demanding space.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, it's fine. You can be more available in that side. I can be more available, for family. So I do what needs to be done. I'll go the extra mile where I have to, but there'll be limits because unfortunately I can't always be available. So whoever is available, and that's why, but that's also just like a different topic on its own, where you find men will strive more than women, even though we started together. So what will slow me down is the fact that, okay, maybe I got married and then I had a child. So at some point I was working in Sasol side. So when you fall pregnant, you're not allowed to go to site anymore. You can't go to site. So you become office-based. So when you say we're also at an advantage, because sometimes when they hire, they're saying they're looking for females and this. But they know, like, the companies, I feel, will just do it because that's the
we
only
have to
way.
get a woman, yeah.
Yes. So when they
it's
have
policy.
when they have you on the CV, that's how they get the jobs. But it's also, if I was to be a businessman, for me, I'd feel like it's also because now when you're pregnant, you're away from work for a good year or two, and then at that time, who's doing your job when you're not there? So it's things like that as well.
Wow.
So it just taps into a different space. Hence why you also wouldn't find a lot of women in that
Right.
sector.
So
Things
what-
like that.
Okay, I have another question because I've been trying to remember this from when you started. What are the things that you felt you had to unlearn?
Being the boss. So first of all,
Right.
being the boss. Firstly, I'm a firstborn. Number one. I'm used to being like telling people, don't do that.
Delegating
Do it like
and-
this.
Right.
No, I didn't say it like that. I said it like this, and my tone and assertive. So, and yes, and then my career also came in because now I'm in a man's world.
Yes.
I always have to have this thing. I know what I'm talking about.
have to be
so don't challenge me. So don't, yes. So I had to unlearn that. I'm still unlearning it.
Is
Because I
that
feel
a
like,
conversation you had to have with your husband?
Yes.
Did he raise that with you? Or is it something that...
I
You
think
saw.
it came up, but He's a very kind man.
He
you know,
is.
yeah. You see when they, when they say marry a kind man, guys,
This is
yeah,
what
Right.
they're talking
this is
about.
what- yeah, no, he put it in such a nice way. But I say to him, are you basically saying I'm a bully at times?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's like,
Lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
if you
I
want to
really
put
had-
it
It's
that way.
funny.
Yeah.
We've actually had a conversation. We've had a show where
Yeah.
we emphasized the kind, like a
Yes.
kind partner.
Oh
Yes,
my
a
gosh,
kind partner.
he's
Yeah.
really kind. But it took my cousin as well to also intervene.
Same.
Also, another thing I didn't know is that sometimes you do need people to intervene in
Yeah.
marriages. I never knew that. Like, I just thought you go about
A
your own
third
business,
person.
but you do need someone that you trust, that both of you trust, and both of you respect
And
to
who's
actually,
not biased.
yes, who's not going to be
Intervene on some
biased.
issues.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So it's also that thing where my cousin had to explain to him, okay, us girls who come from this family, we're very, so on our generation, like my age group, my cousins and stuff, it's mostly girls. So we're very independent. We know how to do things on our own. We know how to. So for me, if you're going to take long to change the tap or whatever,
Yeah.
You
you
do
know,
it.
those
I'll
things,
do it.
it's not even about doing getting. I'll get someone
Naturally.
and pay him
Yeah,
to
to
do
do
it.
And that's annoying to, well, personally to me.
Right.
actually.
You see,
I
exactly.
don't
No,
like
so
that.
yeah. So even like I once did that, and my husband came. He said, "But I said I would fix it." Then now it's okay. So how much did you pay? Now he wants to pay me. But I said, "No, but it's fine. How much did you pay?" And I'm just thinking, okay, it's not a big deal. So it's just like a. So
He's a traditional guy like myself.
He
so
is.
I had to unlearn those things. So sometimes even if I know I can do it, I'll be on some, babe, I need help. Can you? And I'll just let it be.
Yeah.
If it takes a week and I'll still remind him,
Or
please don't
please don't
forget.
forget.
Then he will eventually do it. So I need to give him the space to be the man and the head of the house.
Right. That's very important.
Yes.
That's very
So you see with things like that. And also remember, like, as Winnie said, in most cases, like, you know, back in the days, women would leave from home. Like, I'm sure your wife now moved from home. Maybe she didn't have her own place, like where you guys started staying together. So I had my own place. I did things the way I wanted. My rules, you know,
Yeah.
things like that.
And I think also that's one of the things that I'll have to unlearn. It's being selfish.
Yes.
I'm very selfish. Selfish in a way that
Yes.
everything is I.
Yes.
Your
Me,
friend
me,
said
me.
yes 3 times.
Yes.
Confirmation.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Like I cannot I struggle so much to sacrifice, especially because we are in a relationship. When you get a person that is like so kind, and there are those good partners where you feel like, you know what, yeah, there I took it for you. I took it far. Let me just come back, right?
Okay.
But in marriage, it's like forever and ever. So you can't say, let me stop being selfish for 2 minutes, right? Because I'm with this person. There you are. You have to unlearn it forever and ever.
Right.
So, and sometimes I'm sure you have after a heartbreak, you just have to be. Was that worth it? Let me go back to the real me. I had to change, 1, 2, and 3 about myself for this person, and at the end it was not worth it, you see. So for me, it's being selfish. I don't want to lie, I am so selfish. And
But you know what
even
I
when I
like?
get to the shop, I'm thinking about me. I'm like, and if I don't like it, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe somebody else will like it, you see. But apparently when you become a mother or a wife, when you get there, it's not about you anymore. When you get to
Yeah.
a shop, when you get to whatever, and you're like, oh, my punta, me, I don't say punta. I'm like, for me, So,
But what I like, she's aware of it, and I feel when she meets that right person, the stuff actually it just goes down. Like
Yes,
I
they
remember,
go.
I told myself I will never buy. What is this? Like my husband was wearing, Guess jeans, and I was thinking these jeans are so expensive. Or what's this G-Star roll? They like this.
yes.
You see these brands, and I'm just thinking, just wear a jean.
Like a normal
Like just a
jean,
jean.
from Mr. Price. And
And I think yes, and I was just thinking, but then there was a time and point where I was just like willing to just get it for him because he
Yes,
loves it and it
yes.
makes him happy. And at some
And
point, I was like, I'll never
I
spend.
I love what you said when you meet that person because
No.
Yeah.
I used to say I'll never spend on a man, but when I look back,
You're like, is this me?
is this but also I realized that I am such a my love language is me gifting and receiving
Yes,
gifts, right? So
Okay.
and for me to I don't want to lie to you this is my principle in life, this is how I do things. I don't just get when I meet someone how you treat me, it's my response.
Reciprocated, yeah.
Yes. So I'm not going to come in like we just met today and I'm taking you and buy you all those things that you don't even need. You need to, I'm still that old-fashioned girl who believes that a man is a hunter.
Yeah,
We are naturers as women. I like what you said. We are naturers, and the man is the head of the family, and how and the success of the relationship is not dependent on a man. No, but then it's a partnership where that you are leading us where we are supposed to go. You're supposed to lead us, and I am there in support of whatever, like the goals and all this. That's the reason why I always say that I knew, like I'll know that even how you speak and how you say things, and like you are not the man for me. And I have this thing now that I'll say the man that is for me and the man that is supposed to marry me won't treat me like this. And that's how I close that door and or close that curtain because I have I know what I want.
The door
in
and the
life.
kitten.
Yes.
Close.
Yo.
And because I'm self-aware, right? And I know what I want in life, and I know what I don't like. I don't want in life. For example, I know that I'll never be with a partner that doesn't communicate because I'm a communicator. I love talking, and if you want to
We've seen this today.
if you want to shut a woman or if you want to torture a woman, keep quiet. Keep quiet and not you will hurt that woman.
Yeah.
We love talking.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I don't like it when men say, "Oh, it's my wife." That's what we are supposed to be doing. Sometimes I'll come back and tell you like about my day, and you're like, and that's all I need. That
Yeah,
you
just the
understand? I
response,
just
the-
need that too. But then when you're just looking at me like, what were you saying? Then it will hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
You understand? So I know that I'll never date someone who is, and I will never date someone who's not romantic
Tell
because
me.
I'm such a lover.
The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. Strongholds to break, got long walks to take, got no votes to make. We don't bet, we pray. Hey, African man, yeah. The African male iris through the eye of an African.